Shit, no, I want to talk about this. Right now, you're going to listen to me.
Órale, Cholo Trucker, Más Movies and Shows. And man, you know what? I've been waiting for this documentary to drop. Okay, when I saw this sucker was coming out, I watched the trailer. I was like, man, I want this sucker to drop, man. And definitely reminded myself of it. Went, checked it out. Damn, I've been a fan of Charlie Sheen for a while. And yeah, wow. Let's go ahead and let's bring in my brother from Two Face Entertainment, one, Mr. Fred Segura.
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? How you doing? Man, I don't know, this is kind of weird, bro. My head looks chopped right here a little bit here. Is that better? That looks kind of weird, but oh well.
You,
Anyways, how you
you,
doing, man? How you doing?
you still look dark, Holmes.
Right?
Maybe that's just your skin color. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I need the lighting over there on more on that side of this way. But anyways, well, no, you don't want to show my flaws. Well, there's no flaws really, but anyway, no, man. How you doing, man? How you
Yeah,
doing? Good
I,
to see you. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm truck driving. I'm flying on an airplane. I'm doing a lot of things, man, and it's wearing me down. But speaking on flying on an airplane, Fred, this
Uh,
documentary, AKA Charlie Sheen,
oh man.
starts with him flying an airplane. Like it is crazy. Fred, when did you first hear about this documentary and did you want to watch it when you first heard about it?
You know what? I first heard about it maybe I want to say a couple of days ago. To be honest with you, bro, I had not heard of it. I seen like a little. I seen them pop up and and a couple of ads and stuff on social media, but I didn't really pay attention to it. And then it wasn't until you actually called me and you told me, hey, have you seen it? I was like, oh, you know what? I heard about this, and I went into it yesterday. I had some time, bro. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go into it, man. And the day before I was really busy, bro. So yesterday was like a chill day. So yeah, I started watching it, and yeah, I really got into it from the very beginning, man. They had see what I got out of it is that right away from the beginning, it hooks you because it's comedic, it's funny, and then it
Mm.
starts getting serious, or it takes you back, and then it starts to get serious. So that's how I heard of it, bro. And thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. That was very good, bro. That was a very good documentary. I was like,
Yeah, we've all known that Charlie has had this kind of troubling life. Um, and it always made me wonder, like, okay, why him?
yeah, yeah,
Why Charlie? Like, you never hear anything about Martin Sheen, who's his dad. You
yes,
never hear anything about Emilio Estevez, which is his brother. You
yeah,
never hear anything about any of his family. Why him? Why is this guy the one out there, in just in the whole mess of drugs and alcohol and prostitution and everything? Like, I always thought, like, why him?
yeah.
This documentary, it really it really shined to me, Fred. One thing that really stood out
Hmm.
was that I thought he was always the older brother, but no, Emilio is actually. First of all, I don't know. Like me myself personally, I don't keep up with celebrities. I don't
Yeah,
follow any celebrity. I
yeah,
don't, like, oh, this person's with that person. This person's married with this person. I don't keep up
yeah,
with any of that stuff, man. Right? But I knew Charlie Sheen's real name was Carlos Estevez, and that
yeah.
he was brothers with Emilio, and that their dad was Martin Sheen. For
Correct.
one reason or another, Fred, I thought that Charlie was the oldest brother. I didn't know they had more brothers, but they do.
Yes.
But in reality, Emilio is older than Charlie, and he's older than him. It's not even like his sibling that's right above him. No, he's actually above that. I
Yes.
had no idea, Fred. Did you?
I did not. I did not. I think what throws it out because I felt the same way. But I think what throws it off is maybe the height. because Emilio was like a little short guy, so it seemed like he would be. And I think Charlie Sheen was more exposed into Hollywood than Emilio Estevez.
Well,
Yeah,
here's a picture of him in Young Guns,
yeah,
and yeah, Charlie is a little bit taller than him.
yeah.
But just in the movie itself, they had Charlie as the more
The young, right?
mature one.
The,
They had Charlie as more the mature guy, the guy that's leading the crew, and they had Emilio Estevez as the wild one. I don't know. For one reason or another, I just thought that Charlie was the older brother.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
No, definitely. I think that's probably one too, though, because they've made what is it, three movies maybe together? Young Guns and Working Men, or Men at Work or
Men
something.
at Work, Men
Men
at
at Work.
Work, which is super duper underrated.
Yeah.
Gosh, that movie's so damn underrated. That is such a great movie. That is one of my favorites, man. Such an underrated movie right there. We definitely got to talk about Men at Work one day. What a
Yeah,
classic of a movie right there. But
definite, definite.
but Fred, what's your thoughts that Martin Sheen and
Mhm.
Emilio Estevez did not want to be on this documentary. At first, when it showed all the people sitting down, I thought
Yeah,
that was Emilio Estevez. But no, that was
yeah,
his
that was
other
the brother.
brother, Ramon
Yeah,
Estevez. I was
which
like, orale, I never heard of Ramon Estevez. This is the first time I'm hearing of all these other siblings. I thought that was Emilio. He looked just like Emilio. And then it said right there, Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez uh, declined to be on this documentary. What was your thoughts that we weren't going to hear from Martin and Emilio?
well, first and foremost, bro, Martin Sheen's actual name um, is Ramon. That's his actual name.
Okay.
That's his actual name. But yeah, when I saw that, man, I was like, oh, like, okay, why? I personally think it's just they've been through a lot with him, and it's pretty evident when you see the whole thing. I think that being a father, having to go through that with your son or whatever your child, at the end of the day, um, I would think that that's Martin's reason for it. Emilio Emilio, I think probably the same reason, but with him, he's a little bit more reserved, if you will. If you see him, you don't see him out there as much on interviews and too much, other than you know um, promoting the film or something. But other than that, you don't see him out there too much. So yeah, that was my
Yeah.
thoughts of it, man. I just think it's probably endured a lot of pain for Martin Sheen, and that's the reason why, bro. I believe.
You, I just realized I had the tacker I had scrolling at the bottom was for wrestling rehab.
Oh, is
You
it?
guys-
Oh, is
I,
it?
I do have a wrestling channel in case anybody wants to go check it out called Wrestling Rehab. All right, so
Oh,
let's move
okay.
on. Uh,
Oh, damn.
um, out of those three right there, who do you think has had the most successful career?
Out of the three, well, you know what, man? Well, see, for my generation, I would think Charlie did, because Martin was a little bit before my time. But
Mm,
then again, Martin's done some classics. The dad has done some classic films. But I think Charlie Sheen has really made a lot more of an impact with more films that, like Platoon, which,
mm.
not going into the movie things, that is my one of my all-time favorite films. I liked it better than Full Metal Jacket. That's my opinion. Um, and it won an Academy Award. Uh, what other ones? The Wraith, when he had that car. The Rookie
Mm.
with Clint Eastwood. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
Charlie has had a much better, a much bigger career than both his dad and his brother. On that sense.
I would say when it comes to somebody like Martin Sheen, I don't think he has classics that you would need to go back to watch, like a Charles Bronson or a Chuck Norris or
Mm,
one of those guys. He
yeah,
didn't really stand out that way. When it comes to Emilio Estevez, um, I think maybe I can name movies that are probably better than
yeah,
Charlie's, but I think Charlie has more work.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how many movies out there are of Emilio Estevez, right?
Mm,
But if you think of like Young Guns Part 1 and 2, and if you think of Judgment Night, I think those movies are probably better than any Charlie Sheen movies.
yeah. Well,
Probably,
the,
like you said,
this,
Platoon really stands out. That's a classic. That's a must watch. But Charlie just happens to have just so many movies out there. Money Talks with
yeah.
Chris Tucker. I mean, just so many out there that are good, that
One,
are great.
he wasn't Emilio Estevez was. Oh no, Charlie Sheen was.
Charlie
Yeah, that's
Sheen
right.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
So
well, Emilio had the Outsiders and what is it, Maximum Overdrive, which is not like a great, but
right,
he did
yeah,
have some cult, Repo Man, a couple of cult films, I guess you can call them. But yeah, you're
not
right.
not yeah, but not Repo Man though, dog. Not
Yeah,
Repo
I
Man.
know.
Not
Yeah, I know.
Repo Man. You brought up the Outsiders. Point taken. However, that's not a. He's in that movie, but that's
Yeah,
not
he's not
his
the lead
movie
role.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what else did you bring up, Fred?
Maximum Overdrive.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God,
Okay, I
dude.
love. Hey, I love Maximum Overdrive. No, and that one, like that is his movie. No, that one's okay. Okay, I give you that, man. The soda machine that killed that man by spitting the Coke cans.
Oh, dude. Man, I have the VHS, but I should have brought it in. I should have
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, man. Hey, so okay. Um, it's a two-part series. As I'm watching it, Fred, um, like I said, I've been a fan of Charlie for a while, right? As I'm watching it, couple of things that stood out to me that he's talking about. First, I didn't know he was homeboys with Nick Cage, and I didn't know that Nicolas Cage was a party animal. Did you?
I no, that threw me off too, bro. I didn't know that was like his introduction and his homie to run off like that, man, with into the party atmosphere, when he was saying it, it threw me off because I was like, what? Like that, he did the tone like, do you like my watch? Do you like my watch? He
Right.
was saying that. I go, that sounds like a familiar tone. And then he goes, that was Nicolas Cage. Like, oh, dude, like, yeah, it threw me off too. Like, I didn't know they were like, homeboys, dude. Like, they became homeboys after that. Like, just
I first of all, I didn't know there were homies like that, and second of all, I didn't know that Nick Cage was a party animal. I didn't know that dude, liked the blow and the alcohol to the point where they got in trouble because he got on the intercom on an airplane flight and said, like, hey, this is captain speaking, and we're all gonna, we're all in trouble or something like that. I lost
yeah,
control of the airplane or something like that.
yeah,
I didn't know Nick Cage was a party animal like that, man.
bro. Yeah, I didn't know either, bro. I didn't know either. It's just but I mean, I can see it by the way he just, he's kind of a wild, kind of a loose goose, if you will, in his interviews and stuff. You can kind of see it now. Like I'm like I put two and two together now. Like I'm like, okay, I can see that. But at the time, or until I saw the documentary, I had no idea that either, man. Like I really didn't, man. I'm not gonna sit and be like, oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It's like no, I didn't.
But you know what though, Fred? The documentary never said how far the relationship went with Nick Cage because it was brought up and that they partied together and everything, and then eventually, like, it just, like, if Nick Cage never existed anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Charlie went on a
So
little trip. Yeah,
yeah, so I don't know if Nick Cage was along for the ride or if he just like just stopped kicking it with them. I don't know. It never really
yeah,
explained the
yeah.
relationship. Do they still have a relationship? Do they not? Was there something bad that went off and everything?
That's
Uh,
right. Wow.
yeah, it just kind of faded off. Another thing,
He didn't even come out on that. He didn't. Nicholas Cage
no,
didn't come out. Yeah, that's right.
no, but
Oh wow,
you know,
that
uh,
part. Yeah,
another thing that tripped me out, Fred, is that the Sheens or Estevez family grew up with the Penns, with Christopher
Oh
Penn
yeah,
and Sean
yeah,
Penn. Sean Penn's actually in this documentary, which
yeah,
is pretty damn badass because the whole time he's smoking a cigarette.
yeah, yeah. Which threw me off, bro. I was like, what? Really? He smokes? Like it just, I don't know why it just threw me off. I'm not used to seeing him smoking. He just yeah. And you know what? What I liked about Sean Penn was he goes, yeah, he goes, well, he said something, and I'm paraphrasing. He goes, I wasn't one to really talk to Charlie or hit him up or something like that. He goes, because I wasn't living like a very sacred life myself. He said that. Well,
Right.
like they're just, what I liked about that part was it just humanized him, and he was concerned about him as a friend, but he wasn't trying to go in like, hey, bro, kick back or that, because he was doing his own thing. I remember he was beating up cameramen at the time or something. And going to jail and stuff. And he was with Madonna, and he just all this craziness going on at the time. Which going into all that with Charlie Sheen, before getting deeper into it, it's funny how we read the tabloids, we see the news or whatever, stuff like that about these actors and stuff. But to really know the details, man, like the details of what they, how bad it really got, dude. Like it was like
Mm.
I was like, wow, bro. There was a lot of stuff in there that shocked me that I had no idea about, man. They just quite a few things to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll get into that later, man. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's that on that part, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was close homies with Sean and Christopher Penn. I didn't know they grew up together. I had no idea where they were from. I had no idea where they grew up. I didn't know anything. They grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I
Yeah,
had no idea about any of this stuff. So I was just like, okay, I'm learning as it goes along, and
yeah,
um, how they made videos, right? Because their dad
yes.
is an actor, so they would
Mhm.
go and make videos as kids on their own, and that led them to want to get jobs. Hey, Fred,
Uh,
one thing that really tripped me out,
uh,
and I want you to talk on this.
uh,
He was slated to be Daniel LaRusso
yes,
in the Karate Kid.
yes,
He
dude.
was slated. He was gonna be the Karate Kid.
Yes,
That
dude.
would have been. Talk to me, Fred. How would that have gone, man? And what's your thoughts on that?
You know what? Well, you know what? I don't. It's hard for me to let it go because I'm so used to seeing Ralph Macchio, as
Mm,
a Karate Kid. But knowing Charlie Sheen and his acting skills, let's give him that. I think he would have did a great job, man. But yeah, that really, he was in the can. He had it.
yeah, he had it.
And the
He
dad
had
talked him
it.
out and says, "Hey man, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gave him your word. You gotta do this, and or else you're never gonna work or something to that effect, right?" So he said he let it go. He gonna then spawned off a couple of sequels, right? And he kind of beat himself up for that. But the what I see in that, and here's the thing. As much as I feel like, oh man, that would have been so cool, but at the same time, I don't think Charlie Sheen had the innocent look that Ralph Macchio had in the Karate Kid. And had we gotten the Cobra Kai,
Mm.
if Charlie Sheen would have been, you know, would have been
Okay, if he would have been one of Johnny
yeah,
Lawrence's homeboys.
yeah, well, we have gotten the Cobra Kai. I don't think we would have, man, after Charlie Sheen with all that stuff. I mean,
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what
yeah,
you're saying. Yes,
yeah,
the longevity. I
the
got you.
longevity of it, bro. Because I mean, I think even I want to keep saying Daniel Larusso, Ralph Macchio. I think he had even though he was older at the time, he had that innocent kind of look, like kind of. And I mean this respectfully. He had kind of like that punk look, like, oh, dude, like he just, he's
Yeah.
like, Charlie Sheen just doesn't have that look. To me, when I see that stuff like that, though, Cholo, I feel like like okay, like you said, like Charles Bronson and all these other actors, when you see like the movie Death Wish, right, the original with
Mm.
Charles Bronson. This is before he really became this, this bigger actor or whatnot. I mean, he was already big, but I'm saying he wasn't too much of a macho, way too much yet at that point. I don't think. But in that role, he played it like he just looked like a little regular dude. The remake with Bruce Willis, even though I liked it, I didn't like it because it's Bruce Willis, dude. He already looked like and I'll get to where I'm going with this. He's an action star, bro. You kind of see it in him. It would have been somebody like more, kind of like a Keanu Reeves when they did John Wick. At first, you don't see him as this badass
Okay,
dude,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I get
So
what you're saying. So you see Bruce Willis, and you're really seeing he's John McClane already.
yeah,
Okay,
technically,
okay,
So
okay.
I don't think Charlie Sheen would have really. I don't think. See, I think he would have did a great job. He would have did a phenomenal job with the Karate Kid. But I don't think it would have been. It would have spawned off that many sequels, or would have been as iconic as it did. You know,
Mm.
due to the fact that, especially looking of age already, because they did the other two, and Ralph Macchio still looked young, except for part three. You could see he was starting to look older now. But I think Charlie Sheen was already looking. He would have been rough looking already around the edges by part two, man, and it would have been. I don't think it would have worked out, to be honest with you. But I think it would have been. It's just hard to fathom it, bro, altogether. I'm sorry I got windy on that, but that's how I see it. Dude. That's how I see it.
No, you know what, man? You made me think about a few things. For one, I think you're 100% right. I don't think we would have got a Cobra Kai. If we did get a Cobra Kai, it would have been without Daniel LaRusso. They would have had to found a way not to involve him and probably involve his family. Maybe he passed away or something like
Yeah,
that, but it wouldn't have been the same, because where Charlie decided to go with his life, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, Ralph Macchio had a little bit of an innocent kind of punk kid look.
yeah.
I thought Charlie would have done a good job, but yeah, long term, I think it was the right move to go with Ralph Macchio. And like Charlie said, um, he said he was pissed at his dad, right? His dad is the one that talked him out of it. He had this role on the across the pond that it was just like a little nothing role,
Hmm.
and he was just thinking about just like, hey, screw that, I'm gonna do the Karate Kid because they wanted him to start training for karate,
Yeah,
and his dad told him, no, Charles,
yeah,
you gave your word, you got to go do it, and for that he lost the role of the Karate Kid, which hindsight he basically said it was probably better for him simply because his career really took off. Ralph
yeah.
Macchio, his career really didn't go anywhere without the Karate Kid.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah, it kind of fell. Ralph Macchio was on his way. What was he in? He did a flop. What was it? Up the Academy, a Man Magazine movie or something. Then he was in The Outsiders,
Mhm.
and then I think the Karate Kid. Well, he did My Cousin Vinny. He did a couple of them. But then he just kind of like that was it. It kind of yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I guess it all worked out in the end. For both of them, really. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, I worked out for both of them, especially the lane that Charlie Sheen was going down, man. Which crazy to crazy to find out that Platoon, like he had said, there's Charlie's life before Platoon, and there's Charlie after Platoon. Because
Yeah,
after Platoon, that's what really made him blow up. And it's like, oh, who is this guy? That's
yeah,
Charlie Sheen. Now,
yeah.
Fred, you love Platoon, man. Talk to us
Yeah.
about that.
Oh man, you know what, bro? Like when I first saw Platoon, well, see, I already knew who Charlie Sheen was at
Mm,
that point. But when I first saw it, and I was like, wow, like I knew Willem Dafoe and who else? Tom Berenger was in that movie. Uh, Francisco Quinn, Anthony Quinn's son, is in that film. Johnny Depp. Just a bunch of actors. Forrest Whitaker is in
mm,
Platoon as well. And I'll tell you, look, I'll put it to you this way, man. I think I went back to the movie. First, I saw with my dad. God rest his soul. With my dad and his friend. God rest their soul. Both of them, they passed. That's the first time we saw it, and then we went back to see it again, and then I went back to see it. I took my sister to go see it. Like, I must have seen it about 5 or 6 times in the theater. In the theater, right there in Old Town, where I think I told you one time. I said, "Hey, this is the theater where I saw Platoon at."
Okay.
It was in that theater right there. It used to be a theater, and I mean, you know what? And I don't know why this sticks out in my head when you mention Platoon. First of all, I just love the movie, everything about it, bro. And
Mm,
but when you think about it, it's reminiscent almost of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
mm.
Somewhat. It's a war film. One's a Vietnam War. No, both of them were Vietnam, right?
Both, yeah.
Yeah, both of them
Yeah,
were
yeah.
Vietnam. Yeah. So anyhow, but this sticks out in my head a lot. The night of the Academy Awards, and when I saw this in the documentary, Dustin Hoffman reading the Academy Awards, for Best Picture, I had forgotten who was the announcer for the Best Picture, and it was Dustin Hoffman. I remember that I think I was at home, and my mom, God rest her soul, had gone to a service because her friend's son had passed away, and she wasn't home. And I remember watching the TV, and when Dustin Hoffman said, "And the winner is," and I go, "Platoon." It has to be playing. Yeah, dude, It was Platoon. I don't know why that sticks out of my head. That I remember what was happening during that time. But that movie has really, and not just the Charlie Sheen thing, just the film itself has withstood the test of time, man. I think you can watch it at any time and it's still just as good, if not better, bro. Really,
You you really remember yourself, don't you, Fred? You really
big
remember yourself.
time. I remember a lot of stuff. I remember what I was driving at the time. I was just like, just a bunch of
Hey,
stuff, just.
hey, Shadow saying that Charlie Sheen is gonna be the leader of La Onda in Blood In Blood Out Part Two.
Oh,
uh,
shout out to MC Shadow, man. This was like, hey, you know
we're
what?
missing we're missing that good looking dude from San Jose, Robert Anthony says.
Hey, right.
Yeah,
Damn.
whatever
Oh,
happened to that teacher guy from San Jose, man? I don't know. We'll have to get him on here one day. I
right?
look. So basically, in the documentary, he says there was the Charlie Sheen before Platoon, and then the Charlie Sheen after Platoon.
Yeah,
That really, catapulted his career to become a star. Kind of
yeah.
put him out there in Hollywood and everything. And then all hell broke loose because there was no rules with him. Th- which again, I come to think, Fred, why him? Why didn't Emilio Estevez get involved with alcohol and drugs? Why didn't Martin Sheen? Why didn't anybody else? Why Charlie? Why him?
You know what?
Everybody else had the access to money. Everybody else had the access to Hollywood. Why him, Fred?
That is a very good question, bro. And shout out to Robert Anthony. I see him in the chats, bro. Well, first of all, let me back up. The role in Platoon was offered to Emilio Estevez first. And
Right.
then, and
Yes.
then yeah, which I think they were going for that Martin Sheen vibe because Emilio Estevez does look like Martin Sheen, a lot,
Mm.
But anyhow, but he said, no, he goes, it's just like, that's just what happened. They gave it to Charlie. But I'll tell you, you know what? That's a great question that you just asked right now, bro, because I'll tell you something. This is what I thought of as I watched the documentary. I said, man, that's crazy that this dude went this far with all these drugs and alcohol and everything like that, right? But you know what? Here's my understanding of things, bro. When you grow up with people, when you're growing up with people, right, and you're growing up with a bunch of friends and stuff like that, you know, I'm not saying we did the best of things, We're out there, we're trying different stuff. Not so much as drugs and stuff like that, but you say, you start before you're 21, you start drinking, drinking a little bit. And I'm not trying to be all negative on here, saying all this stuff. This is just the way things happen. But the difference is that regardless of if you have access to it or not, bro, there are people that just have an addictive personality to stuff, bro, where it's just not enough. You know, it's like, okay, well, yeah, this drink made me feel this way, but I want more. And then you can't get that same, like you said, I couldn't get. I was chasing that same feeling that I couldn't get again, and it's an addictive personality, bro. I think that's why it was Charlie, not Emilio, because Emilio probably just didn't have that addictive personality, bro, like Charlie did. Obviously Charlie has an addictive personality when it comes to all that, all that stuff, man. Like, unfortunately, you
Yeah,
know.
because he went from sex to alcohol, coke. Then he started smoking it to the point where
Yeah,
he started even shooting it up. And I'm like, damn, man, this dude is like
yes,
going all the way. And then, you get into his career once he gets into Two and a Half Men, where
yeah.
he went on a couple, he went to rehab a few times. He goes sober, which was, I thought, like, watching the documentary, I'm like, and we'll get into Denise Richards in a second, man.
Yeah,
But I'm watching the documentary. I'm like, oh, okay, so he went sober that early, like in 1997. I'm like, oh, damn, heck, I thought he was partying the entire time. No,
yeah.
he continually kept relapsing. I remember he said in the documentary he celebrated 1 year of sobriety with a beer, that Foster's
Oh,
beer.
at Nicolas Cage's house. Then he
And
was,
Nicolas Cage's yeah, he's at Nick Cage's house, right? He sees a Foster's beer, and to celebrate 1 year sobriety, he cracks that sucker open, drinks it, and he's back. He's
yeah,
back on the wagon, man. So I'm like, this dude kept relapsing and relapsing and
yeah,
relapsing over and over and over. And then when the Two and a Half Men, when he said like, "Hey, I need something that's steady, that's gonna keep
yeah.
me going, right? Not just movies. I need some." Two and a Half Men come along. He said, "Well, first he got another show which I never watched. I never watched that other show, which where he
Uh,
was replacing Michael J. Fox.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's right.
I
That's
I I forgot the name of the show. I never
right.
watched it. I don't even really care. But that same this guy that came up with that same show said, "Okay, I got another idea. We're gonna do Two and a Half Men," which I still watch Two and a Half Men till this
Oh,
day. Till
dude,
this day,
that's too funny.
I still watch that show, man.
Uh,
And as everybody was saying, like John Cryer on there was saying, at first he was cool, but as time went on, he would
yes,
show up late. You could see
yeah.
that he's all hungover. You could see how he's all, crudo and everything of that sort. And I was just like, damn, man. You know what was crazy, Fred?
Uh,
That one movie that nobody knows about, I don't know what movie it is, right?
uh,
Where he's talking about it and he's all like, he was on a sick one, right? And they told
yeah.
him like, dog, you can't do this scene, to the point where even like
Oh,
blood was coming down his nose because he
yeah,
did so much coke the night before. And he's all like, hang on just a second, you got some ice? They gave him some ice. He
yeah,
goes to he goes to the restroom and he shoves ice up his ass
yeah,
to come back to finish the scene.
yeah,
And they show the scene on the documentary, and it says right there, with ice up his ass. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just watching the scene.
Yes, dude. Well, you know what? That was a trip because see, I forget what film that is, but even I'm gonna look for it. But when I see it, I can't see it the same anymore. You start thinking of all this, like, what the heck? But you know what? Going back a little bit, bro, before the Fosters and everything,
Mm.
when they, which I thought was funny too, though, that I had no idea him and Kelly Preston, that I
That,
don't remember that, that he had, he shot her, he shot her by accident.
I forgot. I forgot
Yeah,
about that. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, he did. Did anybody remember that story? I
I,
mean, this
I
was this was back in the day, so it's not like social media was, on fire or anything. But I,
yeah,
kn- maybe I could say, maybe I remember hearing something like that. I don't know, Fred, but I
yeah.
thought that would, had that happened today, that story would have
Oh, it
blown
would
up
have been
all
all
over
over
the
the
place.
place,
But yeah, I don't really recall hearing that he shot Kelly because she's an actress. People
Yeah, yeah.
know
Well,
her.
she's passed on because she married John Travolta, no, and then she passed
Yeah,
away.
Yeah, she
But
was married to John Travolta, but she was a
really
star.
good girl.
She was in the movie Twins. She was
Yeah,
in a few, she was in a few
Mischievous and
movies.
all these other movies. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it's not like, oh, Charlie Sheen shot his girlfriend that nobody knows. No, it's Charlie Sheen shot Kelly Preston. It's like, wait, what?
see, but then you got Trey Songz and Megan Thee Stallion, right? And then Trey Songz is over there locked up. But anyways, uh, no, but here's the thing, which I didn't know either, bro. And I didn't know for the time that when he said, "Hey, we're celebrating my birthday," Martin Sheen, and he goes at
Mm,
9. He goes at 9 a.m. He goes, "Yeah." He shows up, and then the mom asked him, "Are you armed?" He goes, "Oh, no." Like, what the heck? Like, he showed up to party, and he walked into an intervention.
he
And
said, wait, Fred. He said, no. Why would you ask me that? I mean, there might be something in the trunk, but
yeah,
no, I'm not.
yeah,
there,
yeah,
there
bro.
might be something in the trunk,
And he walked into an intervention, and he
right?
was like, okay, what the heck? Like, and he goes, all these people sitting around, and then he was getting irritated with that, but he went. And then I think it wasn't that time. That was when he got past that one and he got sobered up, is when he went to Nicolas Cage's castle or something, right? That when he found the
Mm,
Fosters after that, then he
yeah,
went back to a rehab and told the lady, the receptionist, that he was leaving, that he
right.
was going to give her $1 million if he didn't come back or something the next day
At
by
eight
8 o'clock
o'clock
in
in
the
the
morning.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
And he went out and did his dirt and then came back. Like, it was like, what the? But back to what you were saying about John Cryer, what I found amazing, bro, was that John Cryer was like, you could see him. He was all messed up. Like, that you could see him all. He was all hungover, like all, like he was doped up or whatever. From that, he goes, but then he goes, for rehearsals, he wouldn't even show up sometimes. But then he goes,
right.
when we shot on Fridays, he went in and knocked it all out like nothing, dude. Like, so he has a tremendous talent, dude, to be able to just, you know, to just be able to do stuff like that, which is, to me, I find that a lot of actors, and no matter what, when it comes to talent, a lot of people just naturally have it. It's unfortunate that they don't really fully embrace it and really become more than what they can be. That usually happens, unfortunately.
And you know what? We fast forward a little bit, but we should point out that what got him on the map to make the movies like
Oh
Platoon
yeah,
and everything like that was that small part that he had on Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
yeah, yeah,
That's that
yeah,
small part. He goes into detail on, how he got the jacket, how he stayed up late so he could look all shot out, how he
yeah,
put a little bit of makeup or no ashes. My
yeah.
bad.
And
Ashes.
then,
He put
and
ashes
then probably,
so
yeah,
he could look all shot out. And just that small little role that he had in Ferris Bueller's Day Off is what captured the eyes of everybody in Hollywood to say like, oh, we gotta put this guy in a bigger role.
yeah,
So
yes,
and yeah, that role that part in Ferris Bueller Day Off is memorable. It is.
definitely, definitely.
A lot of people forget that he's in that movie, but when you point it out, it's like, oh, that's right, and then
Yeah,
they remember everything about it.
yeah.
About that part of the movie. But you know, there is somebody that's in this documentary, Fred,
Hmm.
that just completely tripped me the heck out. So he was married
Hmm.
to Denise Richards, right?
Correct, correct.
Everybody, let's bring up Denise Richards right here.
Mm.
That's Denise Richards right there. Obviously, all the way towards the right is when she's a little bit older and mature, but she still looks good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In all these pictures where she's young, the Starship Trooper chick, to a little bit more in her career. She was even in Two and a Half Men, to even a little bit later. She still looked good, man. I never met any vato. I never met any dude that did not like Denise Richards,
Oh,
right? It's like, oh man, she's good looking, man. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. If there was, bro, something's wrong.
yeah,
Something's
man.
wrong, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Because just aesthetically,
Yeah,
she's beautiful,
yeah,
man. Like I said, even in this picture, all the way to the right, where she's wearing that pink,
mhm,
yeah, she looks a little bit older, but she's still a good looking girl, man.
yes.
she's in this documentary, Fred, and I couldn't even recognize her. I
Yeah,
was like, I was like, wait, what? That's Denise Richards?
yeah, bro. And
I
for her,
just, I don't know what happened, Fred.
you know what? That threw me for a loop too, man. When because it's in the second part, right? She's in the second part. So because when the first episode, the first half of the documentary ends, I was like, well, what happened to Denise Richards? They didn't touch on it. Well, she's in the second part, early on in the second part, right away almost.
Mhm.
And when I saw it, I was like, wow. And I was gonna look up how old she is, right? Because I said, man, she just didn't age well, and she's 54, which is like what the and it makes you think like, man, was she it's like Charlie did the drugs and alcohol, but she got the results of it because he aged better than she did.
Yes.
It's like it's just like Corsicans or I don't know. It just yeah, no, it just looks I'm sorry, man, she did not age well, man. She did not age well. Or maybe it was
And,
just, I don't know. I don't know. There's something about it that's just not it's kind of was a letdown, dude.
and from somebody who, you know, possibly at one point, arguably, was one of the hottest chicks in Hollywood,
Correct.
right? To fast forward to the point where I'm just like, what the heck? Like
Yeah.
I was just, yeah, man, I was blown away. I was like, what the heck happened to her? And yeah, there was nothing in the documentary that said that she was involved in drugs or that she was an alcoholic. Maybe she
Mhm.
was, maybe she wasn't. I don't know, but they never said anything like that. As a matter of fact,
Correct.
they actually showed her that she was more responsible. They
Yeah.
showed another chick that Charlie was married to, and
Oh,
yeah, they said it that she was in drugs. She was, and I thought she looked better than Denise.
yeah. She does. She does. She does,
I, I,
bro.
I don't know who that other chick was. I don't know if she's an actress or not.
Mhm.
Um, they got into it in Aspen, and the cops got involved in everything, and a huge fiasco, right? And that
Correct.
I do kind of remember hearing that on the news, um, but she was a mean druggie, and she let it be known, and she said
Yeah.
she was a hardcore druggie. But I'm like, damn, she aged better than Denise Richards.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? Down to her voice, no? It sounded like she
Yes,
was a smoker, no? Like she sounded like a smoker. Like, yeah, I was like, what the heck
she.
happened here, dude? Like, yeah.
I
You know
I
what? And I'll admit it, my guilty pleasure as a man, Nev Campbell and Denise Richards and Wild Things. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, it's like, oh, hey, when I first seen the VHS, like, oh, I'm taking this home. I'm taking this home. I was like, I don't care. I just saw the cover of it. Oh,
who
okay,
was that?
cool.
Matt Dillon, right?
Matt Dillon, Nev Campbell, and
Matt
Denise
Dillon.
Richards.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And like, oh wow, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
yeah.
We put it
Uh,
on. Like, hey, what's the movie
Fred,
about? I don't know.
Fred,
I'm waiting for the good stuff. I'm waiting for the good stuff.
Fred always comes through, Holmes. Fred always comes through. You know what? And it seemed like Denise Richards stuck around even after they got divorced. She's over there
Yeah,
making sandwiches. Three prostitutes come down, and then they're like, "Are you gonna make sandwiches for the prostitutes as well?" She's all like, "Yeah, like she really." And she said she admitted that she still loves them. So I mean, I'm like, wow, all right, the relationship with his kids and everything. Fred, like, look, man, I am a fan of Charlie Sheen. I am, man. I heard that what Corey Feldman said, that
oh,
that Charlie Sheen raped Corey Haim, right?
mhm,
Um, I don't know. Part of me tends to believe it, man. Part of me tends to believe it because now let's get into the whole sexual stuff when it comes
yeah,
to Charlie, right? Because yes, he
mhm,
was a big alcoholic, big drug user. They even have his dope man.
Yeah.
on this documentary, and they became homies and everything of that sort. And his dope man is actually part of the reason why Charlie got sober.
Correct.
We'll get to that in a second, but his sexuality, where, and I had heard
Mm.
that he got HIV, you know, messing with trannies, right? Now, they never really got specific,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they did have that one chick that used to run an escort service,
Heidi
right?
Fleiss.
Was
Yeah.
that her name?
Heidi Fleiss.
All
Yeah.
right, and she goes down. Charlie rolls over on her, and you felt like he had to, but he used to get prostitutes from her all the time. And then the way he starts explaining it, it's like, oh, well, it's like looking at a menu, and you turn the menu over, and now you're looking at the menu. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting too.
Yeah.
Basically, he's with dudes, Holmes. He's
Yeah.
with dudes, and I'm just kind of like, they never really say it like that,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, okay, I he's gay. I mean, that's basically what it
Yeah.
comes down to, right? He's
Yeah.
he's he's queer. Which, if he's queer, he's queer. But that's fine. But like, he never really came out and said it. But I mean, he
What
was messing with dudes. I don't know if he was messing with straight up dudes or trannies. Like, they never really
they yeah they
got
said
into that.
men. They said men though, and he was like, yeah, which to me it threw me off, bro. I was like, what? Like really? I don't remember that, But I will say this: the way he got caught in that whole sting of the the escorts and all that stuff was
Mm.
because he used Martin Sheen's credit card,
Yeah,
and that's how he
he used
got
a credit
caught
card.
into that. But anyhow, um, yeah. See, I just thought he was more of a party animal with women and escorts and stuff. But then, yeah, it also said men, which was like, oh wow, like that kind of threw me for a loop, bro. Because I'll be honest, I don't remember ever hearing that until I saw the documentary. I don't remember ever hearing even trans for that matter, bro. Like
I
honestly, that's my
I
thing.
I remember hearing tranny, which,
Mhm.
at the very, very least,
Mhm.
with a transsexual, I guess he can aesthetically see the beauty in that, right?
Yeah,
But when it's just a straight out dude, it's like, dog,
yeah,
you went to me. Look, to me, I'm just kind of like, okay, you're gay then.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
no, to me, there's no such thing as a bisexual dude. If you're
yeah,
with a dude, you're just straight out gay, and you don't know how to admit it to yourself, saying that you're
yeah.
into both. You're just straight out gay, man. But
Correct.
which is fine. If he's gay, he's gay. But
Yeah,
I just, because at the end, Fred, when the dude's asking him, hey, so do you regret, doing that sexuality thing? He
yeah,
was like, he said no, that he doesn't. He's all like, no, 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 yeah, it's fine.
yeah, yeah. He didn't yeah, he had no regrets over it, bro. Like none at all. He just said it was in the moment of the whole party mode, and he just went with it, bro. That was it. Like, which was, what? I don't know, man. It just it going back to the original question. When I saw that, and he said, "No, I don't have no regrets over it." It really took me back to the Corey Haim thing. I was like,
Yes,
wait a
yes,
minute, what the heck? Like,
yes,
okay, wait a minute. Then that might have happened then. But then
right.
he said, nah, he's you know what, I should have sued him and woo woo woo, whatever, he says on there. But then yeah, it also made me question it as much as what, I'm a Charlie Sheen fan. And it feels weird because I feel like I mean I don't even know the guy, I never met him before in my life, but I just feel bad about it because I feel like I'm kind of throwing him under the bus, but he threw himself under the bus, bro. It was kind of a letdown to me, bro. Like, really, dude? Like, maybe he did do that. As much as I would hate to even think about it, that he would do something like that, it really took it there, dude. In my mind.
Yeah, no, look, it does bother me because it's like, I'm a fan of this dude, and it's like, why am I a fan of him? Because he's such a freaking rebel like that, right? Like, he
Yeah,
did the whole tour, which with the documentary does cover, when he went on tour just to get up on stage and talk about his life, and give the middle finger to the show 2.5 Men because they fired him, and
Yeah.
he was such a rebel. Am I like, okay, am I a fan of this dude, man, because he drinks, he smokes, he smashes every girl he wants, or I mean, I do like his movies and all that stuff, man. But yeah, dog, it does make me think like, okay, maybe he did do this to Corey Haim. Corey Haim's no longer here, right? He committed
Yeah.
suicide, which something was really wrong, and I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like, damn, man, I don't know. Maybe we'll never find out the truth. But with all this, Fred, obviously, what I'm trying to get to is
Mhm.
I had asked. I had asked you in the beginning, why Charlie? Why him? Why not anybody else? Why him? Now that we're making full circle on all this, Fred,
Mhm.
I think, I think that Charlie was messed with when he was a kid.
You know what? Yeah.
That's that is my conclusion, and I could be 100% wrong. He could just have an addictive personality, right? That one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. However, I do want to say this, Holmes: drinking alcohol or getting involved in drugs does not lead you to gain sexual with another man. Okay,
No, no, it doesn't. It
that's
doesn't.
not. Yeah, that
Yeah.
just something something is inside of you. Pardon the pun. Something is inside of you already that was leading towards that direction.
Correct.
But this is not. I think it's different with chicks, right? Like
Yeah.
chicks, one night, sorority girls or something, get a little
Yeah.
drunk and they kiss each other or something. Okay, that's not happening with the vatos, homie. That's
No.
that's not happening. That's not
You know.
happening with dudes, man. So I'm thinking, Fred, that there was a demon put inside of him when he was a kid. That is my connection to it. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, but I think somebody messed with Charlie. Whether it was a family member, whether it was a neighbor, whether it was somebody that never was talked about in the documentary. But
Yes.
me personally, I think somebody diddled with Charlie Sheen when he was a little kid.
It makes sense. It makes sense, bro. Because if you think about it, he did say he was on set with his dad. No, with Martin Sheen in the Philippines during the apocalypse. Now, I'm not saying that that's what it was, but taking him around sets like that. There's a lot of people on movie sets. You don't even know.
Mm.
I mean, was he watching his son the whole time? I,
Going back to Corey Haim. I'm sorry, no, Corey Feldman. Corey
yeah,
Feldman, right?
yeah,
Corey Haim is the one that died. Corey
right, yeah,
Feldman. He's still with us, right? Corey Feldman.
yeah, yeah. Corey Feldman
Okay,
still, yeah.
I remember Corey Feldman was interviewed years ago,
Mhm.
and he said, man, when he was young, right? Because there were kids doing,
Yeah,
like the Lost Boys and Stand by Me and all these movies, right?
yeah,
He said, man, it's like, damn, man, it seemed like everybody on set was trying to get into his pants.
yeah, yeah, bro. He
Like, there's
did.
a lot of weirdos, man, in that industry. There's a lot of weirdos in that
Yeah,
industry.
in the Goonies and all that stuff. Yeah, because he said, he goes, there's a lot of evil people in Hollywood. He just said it. Throughout the whole thing. But one thing, well, a little off topic. He said that Michael Jackson never did anything to him.
Right.
This is off
Yeah.
record. This is not in the documentary, but I'm just saying it's just weird to me how they pinpointed Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson, as far as we know, he said it never happened. But
Mm,
that's a whole different thing. But yeah, dude, I mean, you know what, bro? Like that's one of the things that, and I'll say it, that's one of the things that really kind of like hit me hard there, bro, with old good old Charlie, bro. Like, oh, dude, come on, bro. Like seriously, dog. Like, it's a letdown, dude. It's a letdown on his part. I mean,
yeah,
it's
really.
down to me, dude. I mean, I think it's to you as well. From what.
I mean, look, he's denied it. He's denied
Yeah,
it, and of course, why, if it did happen, why would he come out and tell the truth? He's just
yeah,
say that he raped a young Corey Haim who ended up committing suicide at some point.
mm,
Um, I'm down. Charlie, partying his life and doing all of that and sleeping around and all that. I mean that I think that's what kind of made him cool. That's what everybody kind of went to his stage thing. And by the way, that all fell apart because he stopped going to those. He would show up super late. He was
yeah,
all hungover and strung out and on a sick one, and people end up getting pissed off about that.
yes,
Um, I I didn't know how long he'd been sober. Um, I don't know when the documentary was shot, but he had been sober. He had been sober 8 years.
Yeah.
He had said shooting the documentary. He
Hmm.
now has a better relationship with his kids. Looks like he's really turned his life around. Um, if he did do something like that, which again we'll probably never know, it's he said she said kind of thing.
Hmm.
Uh, Damn, man, yeah, that is a huge letdown. Everything else, I can somewhat forgive and just say like, hey, you know what? He made full circle. He's got new teeth
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that really shine in the documentary.
Yeah.
I could kind of forgive and just say like, man, this dude was one party animal. But
Oh, big time.
but
Yeah.
but if he did do something like that, I think he did more than that.
Yeah.
If you do something like that, you're just not going to do it once. You're going to do it more, and that
Yes.
makes him a sick ass dude. Which again, I hope
Yeah.
I hope he didn't. But then again, why was somebody gonna lie? Why would Corey Feldman just come out and say something like that?
Oh,
Is it because he
pinpoint.
doesn't like Charlie Sheen? Is it
Yeah.
does he maybe he doesn't like Charlie? Maybe he did try to make advances and he, embellished the story. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know why Corey Feldman, I'm sorry, would make up that story. So
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's the same thing for me, bro. As I see that too. Like, yeah. Again, I mean, I can't even stress it enough, bro. Especially now seeing that he's, you know, what is he, HIV positive or whatnot, and
yeah,
he's got all this stuff. But then, I mean, there's something that they didn't touch on that he's been kind of pushing is that he tested negative or something like that before. It wasn't in the documentary though, but that he tested negative because whatever they gave him, I think he went to Mexico and whatever they gave him, um, I guess it set it back down to where I guess something about we all have it, but it's I don't know some kind of thing that I don't know. It doesn't talk about that in the documentary though. I shouldn't even have brought it up, but he
well,
said he tested negative over some med that he took in Mexico or something. But I don't know. I don't know how
yeah,
true that is.
yeah, I don't know anything about that. But going back to his dope dealer, which they became
Oh yeah,
homeboys and they used to party a
oh
lot, his dope dealer sobered him up. And I thought it was a good strategy, man. I thought it was a good strategy because he became actual friends with Charlie Sheen, was
yeah,
partying with Charlie Sheen, and he actually, you know, got that love, that carnalismo love for Charlie Sheen and say, like, I'm not just his dope dealer. I'm not just somebody he parties with. Like, that's my brother right there. And this dude is gonna end up dying, right? Everybody
yeah,
was saying, like, this guy is doing so much drugs, no one else would live. This dude was like the real life Scarface, right? Snorting
yeah,
it all up, man. Like at the end of the movie Scarface before he got
yeah.
gunned down. Like that was Charlie, right? So what his dope dealer ended up doing, he started cutting the drugs up so much that it would not have that same effect on Charlie.
Yeah.
And to the point where Charlie would just get upset and mad that he was not getting the same high. Now, Charlie had no idea that his
Mhm.
dope man was doing this. He was
Correct.
sabotaging his his fix.
Yeah,
So he would ask for more and he'd ask for more. And the guy was slick, cutting it up so damn much where Charlie just got bored of it and said, like, you know what? I don't even want to do this anymore.
yeah, yeah,
Smart,
yeah,
smart, man. And that sobered him up.
yeah. Definitely,
S-
definitely. Before that, rewinding too though, what did he say that he would tell the people like, "Hey, pour some alcohol in my coffee cup," and he'd walk around drinking like early in the morning or whatever, like
Yeah.
all this. I mean, the guy, going back to everything else that we talked about, party animal is an understatement, bro. This guy did cocaine in every single form, bro. From snorting it to shooting it up to smoking it to whatever other format he can get his hands on it with. And he said that was his drug of choice,
Hmm.
And it was like, and then yeah, his dealer doing that, which was I thought was amazing. But when you think about it, like I consider Charlie Sheen. This is the part that hurts with the whole Corey Haim thing. When you think about that, you think about I think about uh, Whitney Houston. I think about John Belushi. Think about Chris
Mm.
Farley. All these people, bro, that just went out on a bad one, bro. And this guy, for some reason, is still here, bro. And it's just it's a bittersweet moment at the end. I saw it and I was like, man, this is and even at the end when he says he still drinks and he's all messed up at Taco Bell, in the drive-through talking, he's the kind of dude we can roll up one day, bro, and see him somewhere and he'll come party with us. The thing is, I don't know if I could keep up with him, bro. Like it's just I mean, like, yeah, bro. I mean, I could go pretty hard, bro, but it's like I don't think I'd want to, bro. Especially
Nah, I
thinking
would.
like, that like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. It's like be wake up like Corey Haim or something. I
Nah,
don't know, but I don't know. I just but no,
yeah, no,
I don't know how much which way to put it. Maybe you could put it in a better way, bro. But Party Animal is an understatement to this dude. This guy was,
yeah, no. He was a rock star without being a rock star.
yeah,
He lived the rock star life, the traditional 1980s rock star life without being a rock star.
yeah,
Um, it was crazy. Just drugs, women, booze, all the time, man.
yeah.
Every day, all day, his entire life. And he's so he's sober now. Let's see, but the fact that he has a relationship with his kids, I think that's good, man. And I wish him nothing but the best.
No, you know what, bro? Like one of the things I got two things to tell you, bro. One, I hit up my friend yesterday. Shout out to Gaspuno, bro. I hit him up and I told him, hey, bro, was it you that told me this? Because I know I was at his house when I was told this story. But he said it wasn't him. It must have been a friend of his that I only met. This guy I only met once at his house. This is years ago, bro. When Charlie Sheen was married to Denise Richards. Well,
Mm,
out here in Monterey, bro, we have the PGA golf tournament.
okay.
So somebody had told me that he met Denise Richards in person,
Mm,
and that I said, man, did you? He goes, yeah, bro. I go, hey, I go, does she look the same? He goes, first he goes, she's a very, very nice lady, dude. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, man. I go, did she look the same, bro? Because, they look a little different with all the makeup and stuff. He goes, and he told me this specifically, bro. I remember this. He goes, nah, bro, she is beautiful, bro. And I was like, damn. So when I saw the, the document, I was like, what the heck?
yeah.
The other thing that really got me, bro, was the thing that Charlie said at the end, bro. When he said that he was so smashed, bro, in the morning, and his daughter wanted to go get her hair done.
Oh, yeah. That
Dude,
was a
that
powerful
was
part.
so sad, bro. I felt like,
Yeah.
wow, bro. And that his daughter was like, and being a father myself, you think about it, these things kind of hit home, like when you think about it. Not that I ever did that, like got drunk like that, but it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. Said he was already all smashed. He
Yes.
was drinking
Yes.
already, and then she had an appointment, and he had to call his buddy, his best friend, the
Right.
guy from the documentary, and to drive him to take his daughter. That they showed up on time and everything, but when he detailed the story of when he's sitting shotgun, his daughter's in the back, and he goes, and I see she's looking like, why isn't this just me and my dad?
Right.
That was heartbreaking, bro. That was seriously heartbreaking, dude. That was like, wow, bro. Like, and I hope that again, this is just a celebrity that we've seen on the big screen and so on and so forth, bro. But it sounds like, and I hope that that's enough, bro, to keep him sober, dude. What he said there was really very touching, bro. So I highly recommend the documentary to anybody out there who hasn't seen it, bro. It's powerful. It starts off funny. It starts off it goes into kind of semi-serious, and then it goes into this big old, they take you through the whole party thing, bro, all the way through. He overdosed and just
Yeah.
everything, bro. Everything, you know. That's why I
Yeah.
said
No,
that I think Martin didn't want to do it, bro. Martin didn't want to do it. His dad didn't want to do the documentary because of all that stuff he went through. Which the other thing too, I saw
neither
Martin.
did Emilio. Neither did Emilio.
Neither than Emilio. Yeah, you know what? I saw Martin Sheen, bro. I want to say, oh, I don't remember, bro. But he came out here when the field workers were on strike, bro. Out here, I think he came to Watsonville, and he's a very advocate of migrant workers, bro. So Martin
Mm.
Sheen did come out here before, but yeah, man. I mean, I think Charlie has an amazing story, bro. I, as much as it hurts, bro, I hope I still kind of hang on to that one little thread, hoping that that wasn't true what was said. But with that, man, I really hope that he really stays clean, bro, because he's here for a reason, bro. He's here for a reason. He's got to be here for a reason, bro. There's no other way around it, man. There's a lot of people that have really gone, and anybody out there
Yeah.
that's gone through stuff. I mean, I'm not just saying, oh, praise him because he went through all this. There's a lot of people that have gone through the same thing, if not worse, and are still here. They're here for a reason, bro. And he just happens to be one of them. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, highly, highly, highly recommend this documentary. Like Fred said, it starts actually pretty funny, getting you into the whole party life and how he got into acting and all that stuff. And then it takes a dark turn, and it's a very powerful story. And again, Denise Richards, goodness gracious, I just don't
Yeah.
know what happened to her, man. But
I think it was worse, bro. That was
nonetheless,
the worst heartbreaking.
yeah, that was wow, man. But nonetheless, hey man, if you guys have not seen this documentary, go check it out. It is on Netflix. It is a two-part series and very powerful. Even if you don't even really know Charlie Sheen, even if you don't even know his movies,
Mhm.
it's not even so much about his movies. It's about him.
Yeah,
It's about his struggles. It's about everybody that he hurt, and then finally realizing, man, I'm hurting people, and just how you ended that right there, Fred, with his daughter, that really made him wake up. Very, very strong, powerful story, man. So you guys
yeah.
go check it out. It is on Netflix. It's called AKA Charlie Sheen. Fred, anything else before we wrap it up, brother?
You know what, man? I want to thank you again for having me on here, bro. It's been great. It's been an honor, dude. This is awesome. I think I always get this good vibe with you all the time when we always do stuff like this, bro. And I think it's a good thing, man. Shout out to Jen Magana. Shout out to uh, Robert Anthony. And shout out to everybody, bro. Shout out to everybody. But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's not taking nothing away, bro. I enjoy doing these lives with you, man. So I want to thank you again for having me on your channel, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate
And and will
it.
definitely do more. That is Fred Segura from Two Face Entertainment, Cholo Trucker, Mas Movies and Shows. You guys go check out AKA Charlie Sheen on Netflix, two-part series documentary. Catch you guys on next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.